What's up, everybody? Once again, my name is Matt, and welcome back to Let's Play The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. In the previous video, we finished off Eagle's Tower, and in this episode, well, we're gonna make our way directly to the next dungeon, so let's grab our ocarina, play this funky tune, and teleport over to probably Dompe's shack, because we do have to rescale Tall Mountain again, and yeah, it's just gonna take a really long time, except instead of going to the right side of the mountain, we're gonna go to the left side of the mountain. So you know what? I'll save you guys the hassle, and I'll meet you guys once we're towards the top. So see you in a quick second. Alright, so instead of going to the right, we're gonna make our way to the left this time. And hey, look, it's Marin. Somebody, help! Hey, Link! Some monsters put me up here. What should I do? I'm afraid of heights. Don't worry, Marin. I'll save you. Haha! I've done it. Yeah, that was a surprise. Link, thank you. Say, Link. I don't know how to say this, but you have a peanut allergy? I knew it. Oi! Marin! Huh? Taryn? Never mind. I gotta go. Well, see you later, Marin. And yes, the game is really going to make us watch them walk away. I really can't do anything about it. We'd have to sit here and watch this. Well, that sure was fun. And now, guess what? We have to talk to our owl buddy. Hooray! Hoot, the girl sang her song in front of the egg. Her Ballad of the Windfish is a song of awakening. Did she actually intend to wake the windfish? The next siren's instrument is in the west. Play your melodies so the unliving stones might hear. Show your courage, the windfish waits for you. Hoot. Yeah, I'm working on it, guy. I'm really just trying to work on it, but like, everyone keeps just stopping my adventure. Alright, so yes, we're gonna keep making our way towards the west, and eventually, we'll make our way to the top of the mountain and towards the next dungeon. Thankfully, there's not like a whole lot we have to do in between, you know, the last dungeon and this one. Like, there's maybe one thing that we have to do, but it's directly related to like getting into the temple, so you can't really avoid doing it, and it does involve getting inside the temple. You'll see what I mean in a second. I know I'm not really making a whole lot of sense, and bro, can you get out of the way? I swear, like, anytime I've gone to this area of the map prior to just now, I've like barely gotten hit by boulders, never had any of these enemies bother me, but I guess now all of a sudden they're just going to be a giant pain in the butt, because yes, now I need to go here. Let me grab this heart real quick, and we'll make our way over here. And actually, wait, this is not where I need to go. I walked directly past the entrance to the cave, which I believe is normally blocked by like a bombable wall. I probably blew it up like a while ago and just forgot to mention it, but yeah, you want to make your way into this cave, take out your mirror shield, block these flames, and somehow I still managed to take damage there. Not really sure what happened, but it will lead you to the opposite side of that rock. There is a teleportation pad there, so make sure you activate that just for future reference. Also, yes, there is a seashell in this area. I believe it's actually right between these like rock formations. So let me just dig that up real quick and we'll grab it, even though we don't really need it. But you know what? It's right here. Might as well show that off. So now that we've done that, congratulations, we've made it to the entrance of the next temple, but we can't go inside just yet. The owl mentioned that we need to play our ocarina to wake the unliving stones or whatever, so of course we're gonna bring out the frog song, play it right in front of here, and that should do it. So this is actually kind of strange. There's a boss fight in order to go inside the temple. Yeah, it's a little bit different. Also, it's actually very different. Never mind. So this is not how this fight would normally go on the Game Boy version. I probably have to use bombs here, I'm going to guess. But yeah, on the Game Boy version, you used to just be able to like slash at his head, and that would do it. But looks like we have to actually blow it up with bombs, which kind of stinks. And okay, I think I see what's going on here. We gotta like make him hit the wall in order to stun him, then we can use bombs. And oh, all right, so I can't just dodge him either. I actually have to make him hit the wall. That's kind of annoying, but whatever, we can do it, I think. There we go. That should hit him, and hopefully like 2 or 3 bombs. Oh, it's actually knocking off his armor. All right, so it's probably like a couple bombs, and then maybe we actually have to do some sword slashes. That's probably what's going on here. I'm not sure if that's gonna work. Oh, thankfully it did. All right, still, oh, you know what? Hang on, maybe now. Yeah, we can jump up and hit him. There we go. Not too bad, not too bad. And whoa, oh my gosh, he's actually doing a ton of damage. I should be a little bit careful, but you know what? He's already dead, so doesn't even matter. And hey, he dropped a fairy. Perfect. So I don't need to worry about my HP anyways. With that out of the way, though, what do you say we go inside and take on the last dungeon? So this dungeon is named Turtle Rock. Sort of a familiar place to 2D Zelda games. Turtle Rock always seems to make its way in one way or another, at least in a couple different Zelda games. And yeah, I love the aesthetic in the remake so far. It's actually really, really cool looking. Like, you know, we're inside this lava volcano. It looks a lot more menacing than it did on the Game Boy version, that is for sure. So Turtle Rock is probably one of the most confusing dungeons in the game, especially since they did sort of make Eagle's Tower a lot easier. This is, without a doubt, the most confusing dungeon in the remake, just based off of what I know from the Game Boy version. Yeah, right over here we have our first mini-boss of this dungeon. It's a blue Hinox, of course. Wow, 2 hits. I guess that piece of power and like the extra damage we have from our Koholin sword and the red tunic really did a number on that guy. I'll take that fairy back up to full HP already. So this is a new mechanic in the final dungeon. It's kind of lame. It's basically a device where you have to draw tiles, and drawing in all the empty space will pretty much always cause a chest to appear. So anytime you see one of those, basically just draw in the empty space. They're not really puzzles because they're really, really straightforward, but yeah, that's what you have to do. Anyways, as I was saying, yeah, this dungeon is pretty confusing. There's a couple of different floors, but it's not as bad as Eagle's Tower, where there was like 4 floors. This dungeon is just massive. That's really the best way that I can describe it. There's a ton of different rooms. A lot of them connect back to one another, so it makes it really, really confusing to go through. And there is a lot of backtracking, but not in the sense of like, oh, I need to go from one side of the dungeon to the other side of the dungeon. It's more backtracking in the sense of you're going to be going through the same section multiple times, and getting to where you want to go to can be kind of tricky just due to the way the dungeon is laid out and the puzzles in the various different rooms. So you're going to be repeating a lot of stuff in this dungeon. And as a result, yeah, it's kind of annoying to go through. It's probably going to take us a really long time just to beat this dungeon. But I'm going to try and go as quickly as I possibly can, just because, honestly, I want to get this dungeon done as much as you guys do at this point. And these, like, weird demon devil enemies are kind of strange. When they're huge like that, yeah, your best bet is just to use your boomerang, stun them, and then either slash at them with your sword or keep using the boomerang to deal damage to them. Once they turn to, like, their mini form, they'll fly at you, and if they fly off screen, they just kind of go away, so you don't really need to deal with them. But, yeah, that's sort of how you deal with those guys. There's pretty much always going to be one of those enemies back in, like, the main entrance hub room of the dungeon, and we're going to be going through there a lot, so I recommend you just sort of ignore him and run past him. We're going to make our way over to the right side now. We've pretty much done everything that we want to do on the left side. Our goal right now is to just, like, kind of open things up, get a couple of small keys, and then sort of explore the northern section of the dungeon. So let's hit this switch to open up these doors, and let's head down south. You will find a lot of fairies in this dungeon, so don't worry too much about, like, not having a lot of HP, because I guarantee you'll always have, like, a fairy very close by, or some enemy will always drop a fairy, especially if you have, like, tons of magic powder and the boomerang going in here. You should be fine in terms of, like, health, so don't worry too much about that. that's like another reason why I didn't bother getting the blue tunic and I just went for the extra damage because, like I said, there's really not any huge threats at this point in the game, especially with the extra hearts. Like, the only big threat I think you're gonna have at this point in the game is probably the final boss, just because he does a lot of damage. So, I mean, I guess you might want to consider, like, swapping out for the blue tunic before the final boss. I'm probably not going to do that just because I think I could take the final boss, no big deal. Plus, the extra damage might help out in some of its phases. Believe it or not, you don't actually use your sword a whole lot during the final boss, but I'll talk more about that once we actually get to it. I'm getting ahead of myself here. So now that Smasher has been defeated again, let's do another one of these tile puzzles. And I do kind of apologize if I sound a little bit weird. It kind of feels like I'm losing my voice, although I'm not really sure why that would be. Like, I haven't been talking a whole bunch or screaming or anything, and I'm certainly not sick. Just for whatever reason right now, I don't know, it feels a little funky. Maybe I'm like dehydrated because I haven't drank a lot of water today, but whatever. I'll go drink some water after this. I'm gaming right now. We don't got time to be hydrated. So you're going to want to blow this pathway to the north because inside is a crystal switch, and trust me, you want this thing to be orange. Now, I'm gonna have to come back in here a little bit later on because I will end up leaving the dungeon in order to pick something up, and when you leave the dungeon, that switch resets, but I did just open up a shortcut for myself, so that'll be helpful a little bit later on. Just know that you want that switch to be orange. That is so important because they do something really mean later on. Like, you'll get to a point in the dungeon where you're cruising along, making a ton of progress. You feel like you're doing great. You'll go through like this doorway, and then on the other side is a crystal or one of those like blocks that's going to be in your way. And if you haven't hit that crystal switch, you won't be able to make any progress. And guess what? It's pretty far in the dungeon, so you gotta walk all the way back, and no one wants to do that. So just trust me, hit that now. It'll save you a headache later on. Speaking of headaches, let's keep going through these underground areas. Man, this dungeon is like a maze like no other in Link's Awakening. So if you've struggled with it, trust me, don't worry, everyone does. Like, these underground passageways just like link back to the most random areas. Like, I bet you'll never guess where we are right now because we're only one room away from an area we've already been. Inside this chest is the Stone Beak. Probably didn't need to collect it and come out of my way to get here, but I figured I might as well. Why not? Plus, I actually need to go through here to get back to the main area. But, yeah, this is where we've just fought Smasher, so loops all the way back to that area. You probably never thought it would, but yeah, it did. And the reason why I had to go all the way through there is because, that area where, like, we just got the map, it's sort of, like, on its own little island, so I had to go all the way through there just so I could come back here. Yeah, there's just so much backtracking in this dungeon, it's kind of ridiculous. Thankfully, though, we can actually start making some progress again, so let's just push that in between these two wooden blocks. We can move that one to the left, head up here, and, we're immediately going to use, like, both of these small keys that we had on these two locked doors. And this will essentially give us access to almost the rest of the dungeon, I want to say. There's more small keys that we need to find, but now we have a much larger area to explore. Our next main objective is actually to get 3 more small keys. There is a passageway we can bomb to the left. However, there is no point in going in there now because, well, we need the 3 small keys to actually make any sort of progress. So that's our goal right now. And to get one of those small keys, all we have to do is kill these Gibdos. And geez, really? I thought for sure I had moved quickly enough to not get sucked down that hole, but whatever, man. These floors, I guess they're just not being nice to me today. Thankfully, those Gibdos are gone now, and we can just pick up this small key. And that is the first of many that we need to find. Now, you might be thinking, oh, these guys again, I bet you I should fight them right now. No, ignore them right now. Trust me, you have to do something way more annoying to kill those guys a little bit later on. Alright, you know, we don't really need to go through here, but I might as well show this off. Inside this chest, I believe, is more secret medicine, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, there we go. But this is just sort of like a restock area. There's a couple of these, like, I guess, restock rooms, if you want to call them that, in this dungeon. They're pretty useful because, obviously, you can get, like, bombs, arrows, magic powder, and stuff like that. However, going to them is kind of out of the way, and they're a little unnecessary. Like, we could have skipped that room and saved ourselves a little bit of time, but going through there is nice, and I did kind of want to pick up some extra magic powder. But yeah, it's just going to bring us all the way back here, so we do have to go through a little bit of the dungeon again, but I don't know. I think those restocks were kind of worth it. That's probably the only out-of-the-way restock room that I'm going to make use of, though. I promise you I won't, like, waste any more time in this dungeon than I have to, because I don't even want to do that, man. Although we do need 3 small keys, we're going to have to use one here just so we can unlock this door. Don't worry, we'll find more, and there's the boss door. However, we can't reach it. There is a staircase next to it, though, so yeah, we'll come back to that once we sort of find another, not really underground passage, but a passageway that'll lead us there. Anyways, heading up here, yes, this takes us out of the dungeon, but right on top of this area is a lovely piece of heart. However, that does mean we have to go back and reset that switch. Hopefully, I don't forget about that. There's also, oddly enough, like a stone teleportation pad. I'm not sure why you would use that one when there's the other one, like, right before the entrance of this dungeon, because who's going to want to teleport to that one when you're, like, in mid-dungeon? Also, now we can fight these guys. Yeah, you have to fight them from up here. Isn't that just awesome? Like, I love fighting these guys normally. Now, I have to sit up here and do it. Anyways, to save you guys some time, I'm just going to cut until I kill them, so I'll see you guys in a second. Alright, so that should do it. Finally, that took freaking forever, man. You have no idea. But we did all that because inside this chest is a very, very important small key. I'm glad that's over with. Actually, I just realized, I think, oh, no, maybe not. I'm not sure if you can make that jump, actually. You might be able to use your Pegasus boost to jump over there from, like, that top little ledge. But you might also just need to exit the dungeon to go back down there and fight those guys. Huh. That might actually be why they put that teleportation pad there, just because if you run out of bombs, you can leave, go buy bombs, then teleport right directly there, which means, under normal circumstances, I guess you would need to go back and re-hit the crystal switch. I kind of thought you could do this entire dungeon without leaving, though. Huh. Maybe my memory has been mistaken. Oh well, not a big deal though. Either way, we know where that crystal switch is now. We'll just have to go and re-hit it in a minute. For now though, let's walk around this area and grab this chest. Although I think this one's optional, so I might not have had to do this. Yeah, it's 50 rupees. Okay, I just wanted to make sure it wasn't a small key or anything like that, because my memory of these later dungeons, I'll admit, is not as good as the earlier dungeons, but that's just because I probably play them less often than the newer ones. Like, I'm kind of the type of guy who will go and, you know, play through Link's Awakening, but only play through, like, the beginning half and then put it down and never really touch it again. But yeah, shooting an arrow into that eye on that statue will cause another small key to appear. And I think down here is, yeah, another restock room. However, we may end up coming back through here again, because yeah, guess what, there's gonna be more backtracking, guys. Bet you didn't see that one coming. All right, I think the last key we need for right now is actually inside this chest, so let's just push these blocks out of the way, grab it, and we should be good to go. Finally, at least the last one's easy to get, you know. Like, the other two we kind of had to work for, but that one not too bad. Oh, remember this room, by the way, because we will be coming back here once we get the item from this dungeon. So just sort of remember where that is. We're going to have to come back to that. For now, though, since we do have these 3 small keys, what do you say we make our way over to that room that we were sort of in before with the cracked wall? Oh, you know what? Actually, I should probably go and hit the crystal switch before I do that. Otherwise, I will not be a very happy person, because if I had gone all that way and forgotten to hit the crystal switch, well, let's just say bad things would have happened. And yeah, you can actually use that area to sort of access other sections of the dungeon. So make that orange, and now I think we're good to go. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's no easy way for me to get back around, right? Yeah, unfortunately, I can't push those. All right, fine. I was hoping maybe I could save some time, but I guess not. Kind of stinks, but you do what you gotta do. And wait a minute. No, I don't want to go over there. I want to go back to the main area then. I'm sorry. I just like had a huge brain fart for a second. Like I was like, where am I trying to go? I have no idea, but I figured it out. We gotta go back towards this section again. Go through like the locked door that we unlocked a while ago. Oh man, this dungeon gets to me sometimes. Like, this is probably one of the more confusing dungeons in, I want to say, almost any Zelda game. At least of the 2D Zelda games. Maybe besides like, Zelda 2, I guess. I'm trying to think of like a Zelda or 2D Zelda game with really confusing dungeons, but honestly, none of them are really that bad. But this one, probably up there in terms of like most confusing 2D layouts, just because there's so much going on. And hey, a piece of power, baby, I'll take that. Not really gonna be that helpful in these next few areas, but you know what? I'll take it anyways. So the reason why we needed 3 small keys is just because there's like those 3, or there's going to be 3 of these like little locked door panel things on the ground. So we need to unlock all those. That way we can get around to eventually where the item for this dungeon is. So let's just make our way through here. Unlock this one, and there's one more to go, and we'll finally be at the item and the mini boss for this dungeon. So thankfully we're actually making pretty good progress. We're almost done. It's just like sort of taken us forever just to get through here. Like I knew this dungeon was gonna take a really long time, but I still feel like I'm kind of going slowly. Doesn't really help that like I kind of got lost for a little bit, but you know what? We're just trying to make the best of our situation, guys. I'm really trying here. I'm really trying. Ah, yes, and see, yeah, had those blocks been in the raised position, it would have actually blocked us from getting the dungeon item. So that's why it's imperative that you hit that switch. Anyways, this boss is kind of weird. So he's basically going to try and punch you, just like sort of jump over him and hit him from the back with your sword. That's the best way to do it. Oh, if he winds up like that and hits you, it will actually knock you out of the dungeon. So make sure you do not get hit by that at all costs, because then of course you have to go back through the dungeon, and then of course you have to go and re-hit the crystal switch, and then you got to make your way all the way back here. So trust me, just do not get hit by that uppercut. You do not want to go through this dungeon more than you want to. And finally, geez, there we go. He's not really a hard boss. He's just like tricky to sort of get hits on. And we do have a little teleportation pad, but I really don't think we're going to be making use of that. Instead, let's just open up this chest and get ourselves the magic rod. So this thing is awesome. Basically, it's the fire rod from A Link to the Past. You use it, you shoot fire. However, since we don't have a magic meter, there's no limit to how much and how often we can use that thing, which makes it pretty sweet, not gonna lie. Alright, I'm gonna try something risky, and yeah, there we go, made that jump, sweet. Saved us a little bit of time at least. Alright, so I think probably the best way back would be to bomb this wall, and then I think it should pretty much lead us to where we want to go. And oh, this is actually not where I want to go. Alright, I'm kind of lost. I'm gonna try and find that room with the pillars that I was talking about before. So yeah, I'll see you guys in a second. Sorry about this. Ah, yes, here we go. It was actually to the left of where I was when I got lost. I don't know how I didn't think to go that way, but here's the room with the 2 torches. So let's take our newly acquired magic rod and bing, bong, done. Light those 2 torches, and I think that is actually going to give us the nightmare. Wow, I can't actually hit that guy through the wall. That's kind of annoying. Anyways, I think this is, oh, this is just a normal small key. My bad. I thought that was going to be the nightmares key. Unfortunately, I was not correct. So there's still a little more that we gotta do. Thankfully, I'm pretty sure I know the rest of the layout for this dungeon. At least I hope I do. If I get lost again, man, I'm gonna be kind of disappointed in myself, but we'll see what's going on. Alright, so I think what I want to do here is actually go up this staircase, since like there's a couple of staircases that I've sort of been ignoring, and I think I want to go up here first, because, yeah, we couldn't have done anything before since we didn't have the fire rod. Now that we have it, we can actually use it to melt these ice blocks and stuff like that, so it should make our life a little bit easier. Bam. I'm not even going to bother with those Goombas up there, because I really don't want to mess with them. And, oh, right. Okay, now we can unlock this door with our small key and fight this guy. So, alright, we kind of fought this boss way back when, like, shortly after we got the Pegasus boots, I think. Actually, I don't remember what dungeon this boss was in, but it was in that dungeon with, like, the thing in the middle. It was really annoying to fight. However, it's a little bit different now. So, what I like to do for this fight is to sort of stand in the corner, jump over him with Rock's Feather, and just, deal damage to him whenever he, like, gets into the corner. It's kind of like abusing the hitboxes, but it works, and it makes the fight a little bit easier than if you were to sort of play it normally. Now, you will take a lot more damage this way, so, you know, I guess there are pros and cons. However, he does drop a fairy at the end, so if you play your cards right, you'll probably exit the fight with full HP. There we go. Thank you very much, fairy. If you have the blue tunic, you'll even take less damage. Alright, so again, we have one of these, tile drawing machines, so we're just going to fill in all the blank spaces, and I believe this will actually give us the chest that contains the Nightmare's keys. So let's finish this off and basically finish off this dungeon, man. I am so ready to get out of here. You have no idea. Finally, there is the Nightmare's key. Alright, we're good to go. It's go time, baby. We're gonna go directly to the boss, finish things off, no detours, and just get our final instrument, man. It's the final dungeon. Like, I'm kind of excited because, I don't know, you know, like, as much as I do like Link's Awakening, this project has gone on for a very long time, so I am excited to finish it and sort of experience the end with all of you guys. And I told you we'd be back here. That's because it's a little bit of a secret. We can just push that to the side, jump over here, and ta-da! Now we're in this area where I was kind of wow, I ran directly into the lava. Genius. But, yeah, we're sort of in the area where I was lost. Thankfully, though, we can just, like, push these blocks out of our way. And, that staircase off to the right is the second staircase that I was avoiding because this one will take us to the boss. So, I gotta be a little bit careful here since, like, I gotta burn these in a very specific way. That way I don't sort of, you know, make it impossible to get into this ledge. Ah, crap, I can't reach that from here. Alright, I think if I'm quick enough, what I can do is actually jump towards that ledge and sort of use the fire rod at the same time. Or, I guess, magic rod, yeah, to land right on the ledge and get through here. Thankfully, this one's a little bit easier. Let's just burn the bottom row, then the second row, and ta-da! We're good to go. Honestly, like, these S puzzles are kind of cool. I do wish, like, we had more puzzles like that, but there's really not a whole lot of use for the magic rod outside of, like, those few puzzles and this boss, because that's the only thing you use it for. Crackle Foosh, you're finished! I will never let you play the instrument of the sirens. Oh, yeah? Well, I don't think you can stop me. So this is Hothead. He's like a giant fireball. Oddly enough, his weakness is fire. So what you want to do is obviously wait for him to jump out of the lava and then sort of hit him when he's mid-air with the fire rod. Then, well, just keep hitting him with the fire rod. That's really all there is to this fight. It's not really a particularly hard or challenging fight. It's just more or less about timing. And the timing can be a little bit weird because, like, sometimes you'll hit him when you don't think you should. Other times, when you think you should hit him, you don't. So, yeah, it's a little bit weird. Just sort of roll with it, I guess. He's actually not that hard. He kind of dies pretty quick. Thankfully, since there is no magic meter, you can sort of just spam your fire rod as much as you want. So timing, it's not too hard, but you do need to be a little bit cautious with it at least. So now we're in the second phase. It's pretty much the same as the first, except you damage him a lot more easier, and 3 hits and he's done. Crackle! Why did you come here? If it weren't for you, nothing would have to change. You cannot wake the windfish? Remember, you too are in the dream. Man, I don't even care. I want to wake up from this dream because to me, it's a nightmare. Hashtag edgy. All right. That's that. I guess we're done with the dungeon. Let's grab this heart container. And yeah, you'll notice that we're still missing one full heart. We have to get that one from Dompe, so we'll probably go and see him in the next episode. But for now, let's grab the instrument and finish this dungeon off. Thank goodness. Ugh. Egg. Ooh, scary. The egg on the mountain calls. Aw, yeah, it's breakfast time, baby. Okay, so with that, we are done with the final dungeon of the game, and we're ready to go and wake the windfish. However, we'll do that in the next episode. So if you guys enjoyed this part, a like rating would be greatly appreciated. If you want to see more, consider subscribing. But once again, guys, my name is Matt. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.